Hey guys, just before getting into the episode for today, please remember to follow and rate the podcast, and make sure to follow us on Instagram and on Threads, where we give updates of when the newest episode is going to be uploaded, and where I will start to share personal bits of my life as well. And now to today's episode. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Life in Our 20s podcast. For today's episode, I just wanted to let y'all know that I hit a pretty big milestone, I would say, at least in the perspective that I have, or like my family's perspective. So this past week, I just graduated college. I graduated from university, and I just wanted to give my overall um, perspective, opinion, thoughts about just my college graduation and the aftermath. So, first of all, the graduation ceremony was pretty, I don't want to say lackluster, but um, I am from that class in 2020 that did not get a graduation ceremony for high school. So this is the first time that I actually had like a graduation ceremony, all official, cap and gown, sitting with everybody else that was in my graduating year. And that was pretty good. I sat with a couple of friends that also share my major, and we talked throughout the whole ceremony. It was pretty cool. And the actual ceremony itself was, I mean, there's nothing really too special about it. You just show up, they talk at you for a little bit, and then you get this letter that says, "Hey, we're going to send you your degree in the mail." And it's cool, I guess, because you can invite family and friends, and they could see you and like see that your work paid off, I guess. But um I don't know. You're done with it, and you kind of go, "Great. Well, I just had my graduation ceremony. Well, what do I do now?" It's kind of like it's like this weird like dopamine hit, and you're like on this mountain. You're like at the highest point ever. You're like really excited. And it fades away so fast right afterwards, and you kind of, at least in um my experience, you kind of get this existential dread all of a sudden. I even mentioned it to my friends that graduated with me. I was like, does anybody else get this sort of existential dread? Um, because like it's such a big part of your life, and it takes up so much time. And now you kind of start to think, what am I going to do with all of my extra time? And like, how long is it going to take me to find a job? How long is it going to take me to get my degree? Like, when are they going to mail it in? I was told a couple of different times, or like time frames, like maybe in May, maybe in June, maybe even up to July, if there's issues with like um whether or not you hit all the requirements in the program, or if they find anything that's missing. So I'm just hoping for the best there. But anyway, the ceremony itself was pretty okay. I mean, took some pretty cool pictures. Um, got some with my friends, and then just kind of went home. Well, I lie there. I went shopping for some food, went grocery shopping, and then I came home, because the thing that I was actually looking forward to was the kind of after party sort of thing. So I had planned having a little bit of a get together here at home with friends. None of my friends that graduated with me because they were having their own things. So they're moving back, to their home states or home countries or home cities, hometowns or whatever. And they're having their own kind of little family get togethers, friendly get togethers. So I couldn't really invite them to come and hang out with me because they're doing their own thing. They want to share this with their family and friends and stuff, and I get that. So I invited my friends and family um that are like within my circle. So a couple of friends from high school and friends that I still talk to currently, my current friend group, and just family friends and family members. And it went pretty well. I thought like, I we planned this very last minute. We had the idea for a while. I knew the graduation date and everything, but we didn't actually start making moves to organize everything until basically a couple days before. And I thought it was going to be a disaster. I thought that we had not planned everything out very, like, well. But it turned out okay. Um, I had a great time. And I think that's all that matters, really, that I had a great time. And I think my friends had a good time as well. Um, it was pretty cool to catch up with everybody at once, jumping between conversations and stuff. But um, I'll give a rundown of what I did. So we decided to hire this guy. He's like a friend of my dad or something, like a work friend. And we had carnitas, which is like, big thing in our family. We're Mexican and like we just love to have carnitas whenever we have a big family event or like, a milestone event like this. And aside from that, we just had a couple other like sides like potato salad and like beans and stuff, and like just things to accompany it. And a bunch of drinks. My friends brought a lot of drinks. Um, I didn't have any. I personally don't drink alcohol, but I wanted them to feel comfortable and stuff. Like, so just like, bring a bunch of drinks, have fun. I personally don't drink because of some personal issues, but like, I like that they are respectful of my decision. They don't really pry at it too much. They are curious sometimes, like, why don't you drink? Like, um, you gotta loosen up a little bit. And I'm like, no, like, it's not my thing. And they don't pry any further. They're like, okay, I respect your decision. And I really like that about my friends. They're really respectful. They were really respectful to my parents. They brought a case of beer for my parents, as a thank you for like, um, allowing me to have my friends over and stuff. And, they show up, they're like, oh, hi, like, we're here for the party. And they like shake hands and stuff. Super respectful, they're really good friends. And it did get a while to get everything going. We were kind of behind schedule. We started a little bit late. The food still wasn't here. We had it made somewhere else, and then we just brought it here to my house. And but once like we brought the food over and people started eating and like loosening up a little bit, getting comfortable. Um, it was a pretty fun time, and you know we had some pretty fun conversations, I would say. And it was interesting to see how some of my friends reacted because although this is like these are my friends, a couple of them don't really talk to each other because we're kind of like in separate friend groups in a way. So it's kind of like merging two friend groups together, or like, people that don't really talk too often to each other. Because I'm friends with, like, multiple people, and it was cool to see how they reacted to each other, how they got along. There's always that thought in the back of my head that I might have one group of friends that doesn't get along with another group of friends, but um, for this day at least, it seemed like everybody got along decently, and it was really fun. There is that question of like 4 years and like you just get a piece of paper saying, "Oh yeah, you did a bunch of work," and like whether or not my degree is going to be useful or not. So, I mean, that was a big topic. Like, that was a big topic that I talked about mostly with my family. But I don't know. I feel like it'll help me get my foot in the door in a couple of different places. And I know it's not necessary. You don't need a degree to like be successful and stuff. This is just the path that I decided to take. College was like I could have done without it, to be honest, and I could be way more um farther along on the path of like adulthood and stuff, and like figuring my stuff out. But like I got the offer to go to this college for pretty much almost free, and I just said, well, I mean, if it's being offered, I might as well, and see who I meet and like see what I can learn. And it was fun. I got to network with a bunch of people. My professors were awesome. A lot of the people that I took classes with are awesome. I still keep in touch with them. They've told me to keep in touch with them after graduation. And it was fun, You don't need it, really. You don't need college. But it's useful, and it helps if you can do it without getting into debt, which is really hard sometimes to do because of the way that the system works. But if you're lucky enough to do it, I'd say give it a shot. And if you don't like it, I mean, you could just like leave and then go try something else. So I stuck with it because I promised my parents that I would graduate from college, and I promised a couple of other people in my family. And I challenged myself. I was like, like, I want to know that I can do it if I put my mind to it, and I did it. And like, it was a little tough, I'm not going to lie. I am a little bit of an idiot, but somehow I did it, and now I'm here. And post graduation, you know, I'm a little lost, but after having the little graduation party thing, it's cleared my mind a little bit, and I had fun with friends. Kind of a little bit of a detox, a little bit of a reset that was much needed. And I don't know, like this post graduation stuff, it's like it's hitting me again. It's similar to what happened to me in high school, but I'll give a little comparison just to show, because my mind works in weird ways, and I like to try to explain this in a way that maybe people will understand better. Um, so in high school, like the people that aren't going to go to college or are not going to go to like a trade school or something, or they don't know where they're going to work, they have this feeling as well of like existential dread. But I didn't have that as much because I knew that I had a place reserved for me at this university. So I knew what I was going to be doing for the next 4 years if I stuck to, studying at this university. So the jump from like high school to college was not too difficult because I knew what I was going to be doing for the most part. I still didn't know exactly what I was going to major in, but I at least knew that I was going to be studying for the next 4-ish years of my life. So I had an idea of like what I was going to do with my time. But now that I graduated from college, it's kind of like I know that I'm going to be looking for a job, but aside from that, I don't know what else I'm going to do. Like, I don't have a spot reserved at any, like, workplace. So it's a little daunting. And that, like, I think the best thing to do is, like, maybe take a little bit of time and, like, relax and, like, you just had your graduation. Like, you don't have to jump straight into work automatically. At least not like something super, complicated and difficult, or like, with using your degree or something. You could like go and get a part-time job or something, cuz you do still need to make money, cuz like you have necessities that you need to buy. But you can get a part-time job and then like use some of the time that you have to A, look for jobs, and B, kind of reset a little bit, because I mean you just spent like 4 years of your life doing all this work, and now it's kind of like you have so much time on your hands that you don't know what to do with it, at least in my case. So I'm taking a little bit of time off. I have a couple of ideas. I want to enjoy my hobbies for a little bit. I'm thinking of taking like maybe 2 weeks to maybe a month off and just kind of chill out and see what happens. Like, I'll probably get a little, you know, kind of like a retail job or something, fast food, just to keep me on my feet for a little bit while I look for another job, and just so I have enough money to like, buy the stuff that I need, basic necessities. But I'll use some of my time to go and enjoy some of my hobbies. Like, I want to do some more photography. I want to go hiking. I want to get back into video games if possible. I've really fallen out of love with them. Every time that I sit down and I want to like play a video game, it kind of like, I just kind of can't see myself playing a video game for more than 5 minutes. Um, I want to get back into writing. I haven't been doing that as much, especially since finals just ended, like finals right before graduation. I didn't have that much time to do anything, to be honest. Um, and I just want to take, some time to chill out and, hang out with my friends a little bit more. That graduation party that I had, if you could call it a graduation party, was really eye opening, that like I need to hang out more with friends and kind of just talk and have conversations. I hadn't talked like that in forever. We started maybe at like 4, and the last group of friends left at maybe midnight ish, around there. So we talked for a solid 7-8 hours, and it was just like this weight lifted off my shoulders. I was able to share things that like, I'd been keeping in for a little bit. And not like, trauma dumping, just like, things that I was excited about, um, things that I was like, maybe a little bit unhappy about. And I got to listen to other people too, and like, the things that they're going through and the things that they wanted to talk about. And I don't know, I just like listening to people talk. Um, yeah, it was really cool overall. And then after that, a couple days later, I had my godparents show up. Um, they couldn't make it to the actual graduation party, but I still wanted to see them because I hadn't seen them in a while. I was supposed to go to a party, family party, where they were going to show up, like, but I had work that day. This is back when I worked retail, and it was overnight, so I told them I can't go. I gotta go to sleep, and then, like, wake up at, like, was it like 2 or 3 a.m.? No, hold up. I would wake up like at 1 or 2 a.m. depending on whether my shift started at 2 or 3, because I needed to get ready and then drive to work, and then, like, do my shift and then get back home. And I told them, like, nah, I have to go to sleep because, like, I gotta be ready for work. And it kind of sucked to say that, because if I had known with a little bit of, like, a little bit more time, I would have been able to, ask for the day off, and I didn't want to call off just like that and, like, not show up, because I don't know, I don't like to bend the rules too much. But this time around, like, I got to talk to them a little bit. We had some good conversations. Um, and I put on my cap and gown again just to take some pictures with them, and I still need to print them out and, like, send them to them. Um, they don't really have, like, smartphones really, so they still use, like, flip phones, and they don't have too much storage on them, so I don't know if I can, like, really send them the pictures, like, and I'd rather just print them out, because I can, like, send it in a note, old school, through the mail, or I could, like, hand deliver them and, like, have another good conversation with them. Um, Now that I have a little bit more free time, I can actually go drive and visit them. So that's the thing that I'm, like, trying to figure out what to do, like, just how to manage my time now, because I have so much of it. So post graduation, it's been pretty chill. Been just watching things on YouTube that I've been, like, saving on my watch later list. Um, Today, actually, I did some little photography stuff with my brother, my youngest brother. He was like, "Hey, I saw these, like, cool things that they do with, like, little Pokemon figures, where they'll put them out in nature, like, in, like in a river or a pond, or, like, hiding in a tree or something, and you do, like, close up shots of it, and there's, like, these little action poses that they do with them." And he was like, "Could we try that?" And I was like, "Yeah, but, like, I don't think we're gonna be able to, like, drive anywhere to go do that, because, like, it is a school night, so I didn't want us to be out too late, and I had to drop off my other brother at school, because he's also currently in college. So we decided to just do that, like, in the front yard. And, like, with all the plants that we own so many plants. And yeah, I think we got a couple good shots. I'm gonna print them out and, you know give them to him so he could, like, scrapbook them or whatever. And, it helps with my hobby to, like, learn how to take pictures in different, like, different environments, different scenarios, with different subjects. It was weird taking pictures of, like, little figures and stuff, but, it was fun, and I feel like it was a bonding moment. I let him use one of the Polaroids too, so he could, like, learn a little bit. I don't know if he's ready to mess with a DSLR yet, but we'll get him there eventually if he wants. I'm not gonna force him into it. But yeah, that's how I've been spending my post graduation. The graduation itself was a little lackluster. I think the cool stuff is what comes afterwards, because you get to have your little graduation party, and then you have a bunch of time, so you can, like, give more time to your family and friends that you didn't have. And we were talking about this, one of my friends and I, We went all the way to, we drove what, like 45 minutes away, an hour ish. I don't remember. I can't remember how bad the traffic was. But we went to a Portillo's to get a chocolate cake. Um, and we were talking about like oh, you don't have any more excuses to like not go places because you can't say, oh, I have homework, or like I have an exam. So like it sounds kind of like it sounds kind of like how do I put that? It sounds like I don't know how I would put that. Like in my head I'm like, oh, like it's like it sounds kind of rude. It's like, oh, you don't have any excuses anymore. But like when you think about it, and like I had to sit there for a second and go like, you know what? Like you're right. I don't have any more excuses. Like and that's a good thing, because like it just means that I have more time to go and do those things that I want to do. I don't have to balance between school and like hang out with friends anymore. Eventually I'm going to have to do it again, because then it'll be work and like hang out with friends, but I feel like that dynamic is a little bit different. Um Especially since you don't have like homework assignments to do and stuff, so like your weekends will be weekends for real, because you won't have these projects and stuff to do. Because I'm one of those like firm believers that if you're gonna work a job, you're only gonna work during those hours that you're supposed to work. So I'm not gonna be working weekends if that's not in my contract, or like So it's a different dynamic, but yeah, I like that. I don't have any more excuses to not do the things that I want to do. I could actually go out and do them, have fun, um, on a budget, because I don't have a job yet. But you know, we're figuring things out. I think I've been watching a lot of things on YouTube about like what to do before and after graduation, like prepare for graduation, and then what do you do afterwards? You know, should you take some time off? Should you go straight to work? What should I do? So yeah, I just thought that this episode would just kind of be a little bit of a what'd you call that? Like an update on my life a little bit with the graduation stuff going on. And yeah, I mean, um I don't know if I think maybe on the in the next episode, who knows? Cuz I'm recording both of these at the same time. Uh I was recovering a little bit from the graduation stuff, because I graduated in the rain and I forgot to bring like a sweater. So we graduated in the rain. I wasn't wearing a sweater under my cap and gown, and I got a little sick the day after, and I'm slowly starting to feel it more and more and more. Like my body's like just feels icky, but um in the next episode that I'm about to record right now, I'm thinking about doing like what this podcast is going to be like in the future. Now that I have a little bit more time and I don't have to worry about schoolwork and stuff, I do need to worry about like actual work at some point, like an actual job. But I don't know. I might upload more frequently, maybe 3 or 4 times a month. I'm still thinking about it. I'll talk about it in the next episode. And go over all that ideas that I have, plans that I have. I want to do more stuff for the social media aspect of this podcast, because I feel like I'm a little lackluster there. I feel like I could bring more to the table, but I'll talk about that in the next episode. So please go check that out if you have time. And with that, I'll leave you guys to it. I'll see you in the next episode, and I hope that you had a great time